Hi everybody, so in this video we're going to talk about how to use the Sansami. Okay, so let's just begin. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is to write down the Sansami on Google. Okay, so I have to remove this SU and you will be able to see sansami.com at the top of the search. Okay, so what is the Sansama is used for? Alright, so Sansama is actually all-in-one daily task manager that organizes the all task meetings, emails and more in one place. Okay, so now let's go inside the Sansama website and click on the sign up. Okay, so for the sign up, all you need to do is to provide the email. So I have already created the account. So I'll simply go back and click on the login. And I will simply sign up with my Gmail account here. So you can sign up for the Sansama for 14 days trial for the free. But after that, you would have to pay for the plans. Okay, so as you can see the task planner of the Sansama, and on the left side we have the calendar, we have the channels, we have the work, personal, and we have the calendars of the specific user. And on the right side we actually have the time-based daily planner. Okay, so if I click on the time here, I can add the task here. Okay, so this would be the actually title of this particular time duration. So let's just write down the urgent task here and let's just save this. Okay, so this is actually the urgent task, and if I wanted to add this into the task, I can simply do it from here. So let's click on the add to task and you will be able to see this urgent task that I have to do. So if I wanted to increase the time duration of this task, I will simply drag this and you will be able to see that this is how you can increase the time range of the particular task from the time based daily planner. And in the similar way, I can also add the task in my task manager or the task planner. So let's click on the add a new task and I will simply write down I have to create a video. So that is actually the task. Okay, so in the task you can see the three different options. The first one is if I completed the task or not, and in the second option is to set the start date, and then the last option is actually to send the planned or the actual time. And after that we have the channel of our task, whether this task is related to the work or the personal. Okay, so if I just click here, and right now as you can see that this is unassigned. So if the task is related to the work, I will simply click on the work, or if it related to the personal task, I will simply click on the personal here. So let's click on the personal, and this is a personal task. So you can see that this is how you can add the task. Okay, so we have the option of the focus and the plan. So let's click on the focus. So in the focus, I would have specifically the task of that particular day. So if I click on the plan, you will be able to see these questions on the sidebar. So what do you want to get done today? So let's click on the next. And as you can see that we actually have the planned work time. It simply means how many hours of the work I want to do today. Okay, so you can simply change it if you want it. So let's click on the next, and you can see that we have this shutdown time that is by default 5 p.m. So you can add this to the calendar, and in the last we have to click this, and this is actually the daily planning for today. So in the daily planning we actually have the setup for the Sansama, we have the 4 videos, and we have the urgent task which is around 1.5 hours. Okay, so now let's just close this. This is how you can use this task manager and time-based daily planning. Alright, so if you mainly want to handle your task based on the calendar, you can see that we have that time-based daily planner here, and I can also create the task here as I have done earlier. So let's click here and you will be able to see the title, and as you know that we have done this before. Now it's totally your choice whether to use a task-based daily planner or the calendar or the time-based daily planner if you want to use this. Alright, so now let's explore the other options of the Sansama. So let's click here and you'll be able to see the settings, integrations, analytics, and in the rituals we actually have the daily planning, we have the daily shutdown, we have the weekly planning and the weekly reviews. So let's start with the rituals. So this is actually the daily planning that we have done earlier. You can see that we have these tasks, we have this calendar based, and here we have to define what we want to get done today. Let's close this. So after that we actually have the daily shutdown. So the daily shutdown simply means that how I want to end my day here, and have I reached the total time limit that I have set earlier on the daily planning, and we have these options. So if I click next, you can see that we have this daily shutdown. So here I can simply review my day here, that whether it was a good day or the bad day, or if I have the black logs or something like that. So I will simply click on the wrap up. So let's click here on the close, and we also have the weekly planning. So in the weekly planning, we actually have the task of all our week. So as you can see that we have the 4 days of our week here right now, because today is the Thursday. So the 3 days are actually remaining. So here is actually the daily productivity of the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the Thursday. How I spend my time is actually the uncategorized. So let's click on the next. And from here, I can simply add the objectives of my next week. So if I click here, and from here I can simply do the weekly planning for my next week and what I have done or what I have accomplished in the last week. Okay, so now let's close this, and we have the weekly review. So in the weekly review, I'll just simply review my task of the weeks. Okay, so let's close this, and now I just simply explore the settings here. Okay, so let's click on the setting, and in the settings we have the general settings, ritual, time boxing, shortcuts, focus bar, and the notification, and you can also see the other options here. So in the general, we have the time zone, we have the time format, start of the week, which is actually Monday here. So you can simply change the value here if you want to the Sunday. And after that, we have this dark mode. So if I want to enable the dark mode, I just simply click here, and this would actually enable the dark mode for our website. And let's put this value to the default system value, which is actually the light. So after that, we have the rituals. So if you want to plan your day at the 9 a.m., that is the default value for starting the day. So if you want to change the value here, you can simply change the value from here. And if you want to enable the automated daily planning, you can simply do it from here. And from here, you can actually change the time for your shutdown. So you can simply change the value from here. And we have the end of the message. And we also have the option to plan our upcoming week. So that is actually the Monday and 8 a.m. by default. So you can change the value here. And in the similar way, you can also see the other options in the rituals. So we have the time boxing. So in the time boxing, you can actually set up your working hours, and we also have the keyboard shortcuts. So you can simply enable the keyboard shortcuts from here. We have the focus bar, we have the notifications, and we have the journal settings for our profile. We have the account management. If you want to delete your account permanently, you can simply do it from here. Okay, so now we simply go inside the workspace. So in the workspace, we have seen the two concepts. The one was the channel, and the second thing was the context. So the context is basically the type of task that you're doing, whether it is related to your work or it is related to your personal life, or if the task is not related to the personal or the work life, you can simply put this in uncategorized context here. So if you want to create the context, you simply click here, and from here you can simply name your context. And if the context is your personal context, you can simply enable this. And we have the default channel, which simply means that if you want to assign the new task to this context by default, you simply enable this. And in the last, we have the colors for the context. Okay, so right now let's just discard this. Okay, so the channel is basically the type of work that are doing in the particular context. So you can use the channels to tag where you spend your day. So for example, if the context is work, whether it is related to the strategy, whether it is related to the customers, so this is how you can use the channels. And in the last, we have the privacy. So if you want to create the channel, you simply click here and you can name the channel. You can define the context of your channel. And if you want to make this channel as a default channel, you can simply enable this. And we also have the color for our channel. So let's click on the discard here. And this is how you can create the context and the channels in the workspace. And after that, we have the schedule. Okay, so that is actually the default schedule. So if you want to change this, you can simply change it from here. And you can also do the scheduling by the channel as well. So right now I don't have any member. So if I want to invite the teammate, I can simply click here. And from here, I can write down the email and the name. And from here, I can simply add my colleague or the teammate here. And after that, we have the privacy, we have the billing. So right now, I'm actually using the free trial version. So if I want to upgrade the plan, I will simply click here. And in the last, we have the workspace management. So that is actually to rename the workspace if I want to, or if I want to delete the workspace, I can simply do it from here. And we can also integrate our Sunsama app with these different apps here. As you can see here, we can integrate this with the calendar. We can integrate this with the email, Asana, ClickUp, GitHub, we have the Jira, we have the Linear, you can see the Microsoft Teams. So you can explore these options here if you want to integrate your Sunsama account with any of these apps here. Alright, so now let's just go back to our workspace. Alright, so this is how you can use the Sunsama for the task management, and if you really find this video useful, hit the like button and subscribe the channel.